All right, let's talk about it. Faceplant versus Serum 2. Which one do we think's better? Subscriber left a comment saying, shout out to you, Dominic Lemur. Dominic Lemur. Would you say Serum 2 is worth it when you got Faceplant? So, yeah, it could be a great little comparison discussion. Serum 2 versus Faceplant. You guys let me know in the comments down below what you guys think as well. My answer would be, it depends what you want. It depends what you're looking for, what your goal is, really. If your goal is to, you just want to produce wicked tracks and make wicked sounds, can you do that in Faceplant without getting Serum? Absolutely, of course. I love Faceplant. It's definitely one of my favourite synths. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, Faceplant. So, what is your goal? If your goal is, I want to make the most amazing sounds I possibly can, I want to make bangers, I want to make sick drum and bass, you can do all of that in Faceplant. Absolutely. Absolutely. If your goal is something else, like, for me, my goal is, I'm a professional sound designer, and what I want to do is I want to explore as many of the options available to me as I can for making sound. So, if I was purely a music producer, then I would I was on a budget or something, and I had Faceplant, I would absolutely not worry that I haven't got Serum. I wouldn't worry. I would just keep making tracks with Faceplant, because you can do everything in that as well. But yeah, as I consider myself a professional sound designer, I absolutely want to have both, because there are going to be I'm gonna be able to create different sounds using both. So I'm not going to say that I'm only going to use Serum 2 now. Like, of course I'm going to still use Faceplant. Here's a little. This is like not to compare the synths at all, but just for fun, I thought I'd pull in like a Serum bass here. Really nice one I made recently. Got a lovely low end in, and then I pulled in like a Faceplant one here. Another one of my favourites, and you can hear in both of them, like, the sound quality is so good. Like, they're so powerful in the low end. I've heard some people say about Serum that it's just got the best, like, low end out of any synth. I'm not sure if I can. I can't really speak for that myself yet, but I have noticed that some of the patches that I've made have had a really, really nice quality low end to them. So yeah, that is one thing. But apart from that, I'd probably still personally say that Faceplant's still my favourite of the two right now, just because I know it a lot better. And yeah, well, let's talk about the specifics as well. If I just initialize default here, things I like about Faceplant that you don't have in Serum, for example, are obviously the unlimited amount of generators I can throw in. I think it's unlimited anyway. I've never tried to test it out, but I mean, yeah, look at that. Like, just having that. What I like about that is, especially, you can create really complex, like, chords. Like, you can create like pads that have 5 or 6 or 7 like different notes in, like using one sort of oscillator for each note. So you can create some like really complex chords. That's one really great thing I love about Faceplant. However, as far as I know, there's not like a specific arpeggiator section in Faceplant. So that's one thing I quite like about Serum, because although I haven't completely got my head around the ARP in Serum, I have made a preset recently called, I think it was the focus shifter. Yeah, this one I think. And this is one where you can sort of delete the MIDI and just press play. And because I've turned on the ARP, I've used the clip function, and I've kept this on play over here, and I've got my ARP on here. And I'm doing this sort of reversed ARP thing going on, right? And so that's a really nice ARP, and it was very, very easy to create because you've got the arpeggiator section already built in. To create that in Phase Plant I could definitely do that, but it would just take me longer because I've got to sort of use LFOs and things like that to sort of set up an ARP and track everything to the pitch. And in Serum, you can just boom, hit the button and the ARP's already on. So I think like for ARPs and things, Serum is going to be probably more of my go-to, I suppose, you know, for ARPs. Not because the sound is better, just because it's just faster to set it up, I imagine, right? One thing that I used to love Phase Plant for, which you can now do in Serum, is the granular the granular synthesis. You know, because a load of my Phase Plant presets, like especially from Oblivion. If I just try and find one, maybe this one. Yeah, this one here, for example. Like a lot of the character that I put into my patches comes from a granular sample. Like here, like using vocal samples and stuff like that. Like here, obviously this one, this bit crazy lead sound, quite different without that vocal in. This one's kind of a fun one, you know, but that was kind of the main point to the sound. But now with Serum 2, you can finally also do granular synthesis, you know. So yeah, what one did I make? Oh yeah, there's another one I made called Hardliner, and this one's got another vocal in here. And this one, let's just play this one around a bit. Also turn that off. You know, the whole sound comes from the granular sample. So it can get like really fat bass sounds with a great amount of texture and foley on them, which is my kind of style. And so you obviously weren't able to do that in the old Serum, but now you can in this one. And one of the reasons that like I mentioned, I used Phase Plant so much was because of the granular generator. But now Serum has it. That in that respect, it's on par with Phase Plant again. But there's many other things that I like and don't like. I still prefer the effects section in Phase Plant, definitely. Just because if I go back to the default again here, I mean, maybe I can pull up one of my other, let's see, maybe it's a new life. Maybe have I used the comb filter in here, for example? Yeah, I mean, this is just one example, but for example, the comb filter. The comb filter in Phase Plant is probably my favourite thing in the whole synth, when it's on stereo mode. The way that it creates stereo harmonics, like just the way that it does it, is just like blows my mind how good it sounds. So that's something that's absolutely great. When I look at the Serum effects, yeah, I feel like maybe the sound quality of Serum with the low end, perhaps it's better. Perhaps the output signal is better. I don't really know. They're both so good. But yeah, when I am in the effects section in Serum, I feel a little bit like I'm this is just at the moment within the first 1 or 2 weeks of using it. I still feel like I'm straining to get. I'm using the effects to get a better sound quality, but I'm straining to do it, and I don't strain as heavily in Phase Plant. Like I get the result that I need in Serum, but like sometimes the chorus sounds good, sometimes it doesn't, depending on the sound. Same with the hyperdimension. Sometimes that sounds great on a sound, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, like the convolver as well. The distortion as well, that's really the main thing, because for me distortion is a massive part of my sound design workflow. And while the Serum distortions work and do the job, and it's like I have to always find which distortion mode is going to be the right one for the job, and it's not always an easy thing to figure out. You know, it feels like yeah, it feels like every sound just responds differently to different distortions, which is the same in Phase Plant, but I feel like it's more exaggerated in Serum, and I really have to take time to find the one that really works best, you know. Um, However, when I go in my Phase Plant distortions, with the shaper table, the foldback, for example, some other ones like the what is it, the overdrive. I probably use that on most of my patches. This overdrive here. That one always sounds super clean on everything, you know. That's why I use that one so much. Like it gets that clean saturation volume boost. It just works almost every time. I like the effects more in Phase Plant, absolutely. Even the convolution reverb's got some, like the sound quality of the reverbs. I would actually consider importing. I think because in Serum, I think the you can import the reverb, what they called impulse responses. So in the convolver I saw here, you can load IR, and I assume I could probably take my Phase Plant input impulse responses and load them into Serum, because I think that the quality of the recordings on the convolution and Phase Plant is in kilohertz is excellent, and I think it's probably going to be better than the ones in Serum because I've tested them out and I feel like they are okay, but I don't think they really wow me like the Phase Plant ones do. So you might think I'm sort of leaning towards Phase Plant still, and I kind of am. I kind of am still, but I've only been using Serum for a little while, and I'm continuing on my path with Serum because although it's slightly more challenging to me, I want that challenge and I want to see what I can still create with it. So I'm gonna be doing like a lot of Serum stuff in the near term, and I know that I'm gonna get some sick sounds with it. You know, so I'm not trying to discredit Serum at all. But if I had to pick one still at the moment, I'd just probably, if I was just making, if I was just like, this is actually a lie because I could probably make bangers with Serum as well. I don't know. I can't really pick one. But yeah, in terms of the effects, the way they sound, I still definitely prefer the Phase Plant for that. You know. One thing I'd hate about Phase Plant is how small the knobs are. This is really annoying me sometimes because when you're doing like FM, when you're dragging the output of that, and then you've got to really lock in here to get this tiny little thing to move, and then you've got to be really precise with it, you know. So sometimes it can be a bit fiddly. So in terms of like the layout, Serum is a little bit like easier in some ways, like with the FM. And actually, the other thing with Serum now, which actually blows my mind a bit more, this is something that actually excites me quite a lot. So this is a bonus point for Serum here. Is if I can see if I've done this on another, maybe I did this on another preset somewhere. Here for example, in this one. I've got like ring modulating oscillator A to go into B, and I'm also phase distorting B to go into A. And yeah, it's just, you've got the different modes as well. You've got the FM mode and the phase distortion mode, obviously the AM and the RM, and I feel like it's sort of got more opportunities for signal routing with the FM than Phase Plant has. So that's one thing that's quite interesting, actually. That's one thing that stands out to me to have a bit of an upper hand over Phase Plant, because here typically I'll just in these patches I'll typically have just I'll typically route the output from one and put it into the phase of another, you know, and that's kind of how I get the best FM signal going in Phase Plant, you know. But now in Serum I've got way more options for doing different FM routings, and that means you can create different tones, like I don't want to say more easily, but you'll get more opportunities to create more different tones. So yeah, that's one thing that Serum has impressed me a lot with that. So that's why I'm sticking with doing Serum right now, because I want to see what these new opportunities open up, you know. But yeah, long story short, in answer to your question, if I had Faceplant and I wasn't sure whether to get Serum and I just wanted to make music, I'd say just absolutely keep making tunes with Faceplant and don't feel like you have to buy into the hype just because there's some hype, you know. We've already got to the point where the software synths already have much more in them than you can ever possibly do in one lifetime. So there's 1,000 sounds in Faceplant that I could make or that I'll never make. You know, it's already so unlimited that you don't feel like you're going to be missing out if for example you yeah, don't feel like you're going to be missing out if other people are using Serum and you're not because you're using Faceplant, because there's still like millions of sounds that you'll never even make in Faceplant. Is what I'm trying to say, and it sounds excellent, you know. So yeah, if I had to you know, only have Faceplant and never use Serum, you know, I wouldn't cry. I'd be like, let's go. I can make thousands of great sounds in Faceplant and I can make banging tracks with it, you know. But because I have got both, I'm going to use both and I'm going to just continue to explore them and try and find the little nuances that where one has the upper hand over another. Like I said, the main thing for me, like the sound for me, like the main breakdown is basically the sound quality on options on both are excellent. They're both fantastic. I just like the idea in Serum that I can use the ARP section now, and I love the idea that I can do some crazy FM routing and also now finally use granular synthesis. And I enjoy the sound quality and I like the way the filters sound as well. But when I go back to Faceplant, which I inevitably will, I love how I can have multiple oscillators and make massively complex chords. I love the sound of all of the effects. The sound quality is so good on them. This is really where I get into my own, is in the effects section in Faceplant. That's something that I will probably always prefer over Serum, is the actual effects that you can use. But yeah, so many great opportunities with both synths. Whichever one you use, you're going to love it. So don't worry too much. Just create some great music. And yeah, that's my little roundup for today. Unplanned, without any editing. But yeah, those are sort of my thoughts displayed for you. All right, so thank you very much for watching. May I remind you as well, if you want any mastering work with me, email me. Links are down below as well for production lessons and my preset packs for Faceplant, Vital, and so on and so forth. All right, that's it from me today. More from me soon. Much love.